This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by State Farm Insurance.
Well, you probably remember the story of little Kasai Haight, the 4-year-old boy whose life was cut short after 3 pit bulls attacked him outside a home west of Felton last month. Police say the boy's mother, who was several months pregnant, was inside her friend's home while Kasai was playing outside near the dogs. Police say the mother looked outside to check on her son, and she saw the dogs in the midst of the deadly attack. Well, those dogs were later put down.
It seems like we're hearing of similar stories so often. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports about 4.5 million people are bitten by dogs each and every year. Now this afternoon, the story of survival when one woman came face to face with 2 vicious dogs.
This was Monica Garza after a pair of pit bulls viciously attacked her on a hike and bike trail. The mother of 2 fought for more than just her life.
I think about my children and that I don't want God to take me at this time. You know, my children are young. And
63-year-old Charles Jordan heard her screams just in time.
Before he came, you know, I was giving up. I was tired of fighting. It was 10 minutes of fighting. He said he actually jumped on top of me so they could bite him instead of me. They had ripped all of my clothes off my body down to my running bra, and I had on half a pair of pants. Well, I had 350 staples throughout my body, 54 lacerations and bite marks.
Garza has had 2 skin grafts. More painful, though, her 6 and 10-year-olds at her hospital bed.
Seeing them crying and worrying if their mom will ever come back home.
For the 35-year-old runner who has completed 12 half marathons, walking is now an effort.
They ruined my life for a little while, but they're not going to ruin me forever.
She has physical therapy 3 times a week, learning to do the simplest things again. Husband Randy Garza has been at her side through it all.
It's too hard.
He is furious the owner of one dog has not come forward.
If you're going to own a dog, man up to it.
Both animals were put down. Garza's attorney is trying to get the owner who did step up to pay up.
Fix the problem. So it's just...
Take care of the medical expenses.
Exactly.
After 37 days in the hospital, Monica, a dog owner herself, is thrilled to be home.
I love you.
By the way, it is believed that the 2 dogs that attacked Monica were just roaming freely.
Wow, well, Monica's certainly lucky. A dog bite is nothing to take lightly. The CDC reports about 1 in 5 people who are bitten, that's 885,000 people, require medical attention for their injuries. Half of them are children. And listen to this, according to the American Humane Association, nearly 70% of bites on children take place on the head and neck. The thing is, any dog can bite. Dog attacks are not breed specific.
So that brings us to the point. What can you do to stay safe? And what if you have a dog? Do you really know what it takes to be a responsible pet owner? Well, joining us today to tell us more is State Farm Insurance agent Gamee Elliott of Salisbury. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So we know we don't hear about every single one dog attack, but it's happening all the time, isn't it?
Well, in 2013, we paid over at State Farm, we paid over $104 million as a result of 3,700 dog bite claims. Wow. And in the past 5 years, we've paid over $510 million. So it's really a problem. But there's so many things, sadly, that you can do to prevent that.
Yeah, and the key is how you interact with the dog. What do you do?
Well, there are several things that you can do. One of them is the acronym WAIT. Mm-hmm. You should remember that. First of all, you want to wait to see if the dog is with its owner. Also, you might want to ask the owner for permission to pet the dog. Also, invite the dog to sniff you so that it's familiar with you, and then also touch the dog gently to pet it.
Wait.
Wait.
Just wait.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we feel threatened, there's certain things that we should not do too.
Well, the first thing, don't panic, don't scream. What you need to do is to just remain calm, back away slowly, And also, don't run from the dog, because the dog will chase you. Chances are that they like to chase things, and no matter what size dog it is.
Right, right. And you know, it's not just dogs that we don't know. This can happen with familiar dogs, can't
Our
it?
statistics show that children are often bitten by dogs in their own household, so you have to be careful whether it's your dog or not.
Right. We have always had 2 or 3 dogs in our house. If one of my dogs bites somebody, what kind of impact is that going to be on my insurance?
Well, let me tell you that you know, you should check with your company if you have a dog, but most companies follow the 1 bite rule, and that basically says that we'll pay for the first bite, but after that you might be responsible, so it's really important to be a responsible owner.
Okay, yeah.
And how do we do that? How can we be a responsible pet owner?
There are several things that you can do. The first thing I think it begins with is a commitment to also select your dog carefully and avoid an impulse purchase. Also, invest time and money to make sure that your dog has the preventative care that it needs, the preventative health care. And also obey, pick up after your pet. You might want to make sure your pet is trained, and also obey any local ordinances that there are.
Okay.
Other things you can do are make sure that your dog is properly identified with tags, microchips, up-to-date registration. All of those things are important. Also, limit the reproduction of your pet. You need to spay or neuter your animal, as well as avoid aggressive games such as tug of war or you know, things that would upset your dog wrestling. Also, be prepared for an emergency or disaster to make timely decisions if you need to kennel your dog or to have it stay somewhere else. So pre-planning is a big part of that, and just being a responsible pet owner.
Kind of like teenagers, bring your dog up right.
Right, that's correct.
Take care.
So,
Gamee Elliott, State Farm Insurance of Salisbury. Thank you.
thank you.
And to read more from State Farm Insurance about staying safe around dogs, just go to WBOC.com and click on our picture at the top of the page. Well, we consider our dogs our furry babies, at least I do. But what about our other babies? Once they're older and out of the house, maybe you'd like to explore other options. Well, up next on Delmarva Life, a place to call home after the kids are grown. We'll tell you why living in this community doesn't mean settling for a cookie cutter home.
And once you have that home, you want it looking its best, starting with the outside. So a little later on, how you can do just that. From a lush lawn that looks good to one that smells good too, with fragrant flowers. How to make a lawn that will stimulate all of your senses. Delmarva Life will be right back.